without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Don and EJ. They're here from Finlays Solutions, and the title of this session is Consistency in Every Cup. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yes, thank you. So it is an honor to be here today. I've been coming to NRA since 2016, which I think makes this my 9th or 10th NRA in a row now. I've been in food service ever since then, and I love it very much. So thank you for your time and your patience and your attention today. So EJ, real quick introduction on yourself.
Yeah, my name is EJ Souza. Thank you again for coming to our presentation. We do have some samples that are being passed out at the moment. This is an interactive session, so I'd kindly ask that you refrain from tasting until we kind of get to that part of the presentation. So yeah, thank you.
All right, so today we're going to be talking about consistency in every cup, and what we're really talking about is delivering on speed and quality in your food and beverage programs, more specifically cold brew, but also hot brew extracts. We'll dab a little bit in that as well for your coffee programs, whether it's food service, cafe, fast casual, hospitality. If you've got cold brew currently, or if you're interested in cold brew, this is the presentation for you. All right, so Finlays Solutions, which, just so you know, we're introducing Finlays Solutions at NRA this weekend. Previously to this, you may have known us as Finlays Extracts and Ingredients USA. We are now Finlays Solutions. A little history on us. We've been around since 1750 in one format or another. We've been doing a lot of tea traditionally, but also coffee as well in the last couple of decades. What does Finlays Solutions mean? So solutions, in my perspective, is we've been very retail focused and oriented over the last decades and century. We're the company behind the company in terms of selling our extracts into retail bottles that go into grocery stores and convenience stores. But the solutions part of Finlays is really adding that extra value add when it comes to packaging, whether it's bottles or half-gallon pouches or 1.5-gallon bibs. So we can do the retail piece, but also now the food service piece as well. All right, so quick introduction on myself. My name is Don Noah. I'm the food service director in North America. I've been in food and beverage in some format or another since 2016. First in dairy, then packaging, now here at for 2 years at Finlays Solutions. Loving every minute of the coffee and tea business, and I see myself here for the foreseeable future. EJ?
Yeah, again, my name's EJ Souza. I have about 6 years in the food and beverage industry. I started out in RTD development, working for a flavor house. Then I worked for a major QSR brand, kind of behind the scenes in an R&D environment. Now I'm moved kind of upstream in the process, helping those same people that used to be my colleagues make their life a little bit easier and make their products a little bit better.
All right, so need for speed, satisfying the specialty beverage needs. Let's be honest, the coffee category of your menu board is the most profitable section of your menu. How do you capture the profits and execute on the needs of the customers when it comes to consistency, making sure you're in stock, and capturing that premium price, not only to get that customer to buy the one time, but to come back and get those all-important repeat orders for those premiumly priced items, especially in the cold brew category. So we're going to do this in a traditional topic, problem, solution format for this presentation for you today. So we've discussed the topic of cold brew and the speed and consistency need to satisfy that beverage trend. So now we're going to talk about the problem. So in the traditional in-house brewing process, as you are probably all aware if you've got cold brew, is you take a big bucket, you put grinds in it, and then you put water in it. And at that point, there's a lot of variables that go into effect: the temperature of the water, the time that you steep those beans in, the coarseness of those beans. And so there's this big belief in the industry that there's only one way to do it if you want the artisanal quality of cold brew in your facility. So our question is it really that simple? Is it really the best solution? Is it really the best thing for your operations to stay up on the speed and consistency to capture those beverage sales time and time again? So on the next slide, I'll pass it to EJ here to kind of go over. There's so many variables that go into the in-house brewing process that there can be some negative effects due to all those variables.
Yeah, so this slide, very, very visual slide. We actually took a weekend in a large US city, going to multiple stores of a major QSR. They were all within about a 10-minute radius of one another, and we had the same order every time, a medium cold brew. And this is what we got. And if anybody here is a restaurateur or an operator, this is probably your worst nightmare. You work so hard to get your product tasting right, and you want to make it the best way every time. And just visually, this tells that story. But once you taste it, it tells a whole different story, and it doesn't necessarily get any better. You get coffee that's over-extracted, that's acrid, that's burnt. You get coffee that's under-extracted, that's acidic, that's watery. And you get coffee that maybe even more extracted than over-extracted, a step further than that, where you get parts of the bean kind of floating throughout the solution, creating a sort of chalky, maybe sandy cold brew experience. So again, this is something we did over a weekend. This is what we found. If you'd like to talk to me afterwards, we do actually have the scientific data. We've done GC analysis, we did pH, we did Brix analysis. If you want to geek out with me, I'll be here afterwards. But can you tell I'm the R&D guy? But yeah, this is a really powerful slide. And what you have in front of you, you can go ahead and taste. You have 3 samples. We kindly ask that you right now taste only the yellow and the red sample. The yellow sample, let me start over again. The only difference between these two is one variable, the time it was extracted. It is the same exact coffee. It was brewed with the same exact water. The yellow sample was under-extracted. It was made over, it was brewed for about 3 or 4 hours, which, you know, to an operator might seem like enough time to make cold brew. It is not nearly enough time. It's even at room temperature to get a good cup. You can tell that's sort of acidic. That is very underwhelming flavor profile, and especially on the nose, it kind of smells like peppery, right? It's not a pleasant cup. The red cup is the very opposite. So let's say you have a staff at the end of the day, it's about 7 p.m., and we are going to stock up on our cold brew. Well, the next staff doesn't come in until 7 a.m. the next day, and will maybe not even take those beans out. This product was steeped for 15 hours, which again, it's not crazy in terms of cold brew. It's not that much longer, but you can tell between the two, they're visually totally different, flavor-wise totally different, aroma-wise totally different, and neither makes a great cup.
And so, as EJ alluded to earlier, we actually went out in the field and did a lot of market research, not only with the product, but also we interviewed some of these managers at these big brands. And this is an actual quote from one of the managers that said, in online reviews, people say the cold brew tasted weird today, and that happened a lot. So I definitely think that the consistency is a big issue to overcome. And especially now, in today's day and age, when we learned a lot through COVID, 43% of all sales in the food and beverage, especially the QSR space, are driven through the drive-through, which equates to $140 billion. And if you're out of product, if you overestimated, underestimated, if it's inconsistent, it's easy with marketing to get someone to buy something for the first time, but those repeat orders to keep cashing in on that premium price is very hard to do, especially with this current system. So let's talk about some 5 pain points that the current process has our operators experiencing. It's very labor intensive. It is marketed as easy to do, but as this video is clearly showing you, some operators just don't have the staff that can handle some of these large buckets. Where do you put the bucket? Is there space in your facility? Are you refrigerating it right? Is the right temperature? And of course, it's inefficient. As EJ alluded to in the previous slide, 8 hours, 24 hours, what are you gonna do? What you set at your HQ or your culinary development center is not always going to be adhered to at the operational level in practice. Sometimes the staff are overwhelmed, undertrained, the turnover is pretty high. So if you set it for 12 hours, it might get done at 8. It might get done at 16 because someone forgot to take it off. You could have product from the previous day. And of course, you're going to have quality concerns. With that 12-point process, even though it's marketed as easy to do, that creates 12 points, variable points where something can go wrong. The water's too hot, the water's too cold, someone used, instead of spring water, they used tap water, or they used smart water for whatever reason that's ultra filtered. It's going to change the flavor of your product, which is not exactly how you built out the program to be. Of course, we came up with the idea of what we call shift-to-shift reliancy. We all have pride as management and operators, but sometimes our shifts, especially the shift workers, if for the current cold brew process, you have to set the previous shift for the next shift to actually execute on that product that they created. as we all know in the food industry, in practice and reality, not everyone's going to have the same pride that we have. So they're either going to put too much water, too little water, or they're just going to straight up forget to do it. And that leaves the next shift in a pickle. And that previous shift, quite frankly, just they don't care because they're not at work today and they're at home. And of course, they're frequently out of stock. If you overestimate, underestimate, as we all know here, especially with cold brew, that snack day part from 1 to 3 or 4 p.m. is a very premium time with moms getting kids coming home from high school. That snack day part is really hot for cold brew and that $3.50, $4.50, $5.50 price beverage. And if you're out, you're not going to get either that direct captured sale, or let's say someone comes and also buys a pastry with that cold brew, they're going to leave because they're upset, and you missed $7, $8, $9, $10 in sales just because you were out of stock.
And they probably won't come back.
Maybe not that store. Yeah, I don't know if I would. All right, so unfortunately, with all those variables that we listed earlier, you're going to get two results. You're going to get higher cafe costs, and you're going to get dissatisfied customers. A lot of this is going to be belabored, but no pun intended, but with that additional labor cost, the time it takes to build this out, how much effort they have to put into measuring out the beans or the grinds if you don't have a frac pack, making sure the water's poured correctly, it's going to be an issue time and time again. You can't trust your operational team to execute 100% all the time. When it's done right, I'll fully admit it's a great product, but is it getting done the way you built that program to be every time? And of course, you're going to get a lot of waste. You're going to have kids overestimating, underestimating. You're going to have product from the previous day, so that means the stuff steeping is going to continue to steep, and then you're going to have a lot of the stuff with a very, very short shelf life because it becomes very bitter very quickly. That's going out of stock, and you're going to have to throw it away, which no one really wants to do. And of course, to get those repeat customers, if you have inconsistency, especially when we're pricing these beverages at $4.50 sometimes at the retail price point, people expect what you market this product to be. If it's going to be smooth, if it's going to be robust, have a chocolate note, and if it's undercooked, it's not going to have any of that, and you're going to have upset customers that will buy it once, but will not buy it any time after that, and they'll go somewhere else. So, topic, problem, solution. How easy is serving a cafe quality cold brew? Well, in our opinion, it's very easy, and here's why.
It's as easy as 1, 2, 3, which is kind of a cliche. I'm going to admit that, but it really is 3 steps. I have over to the left here, I have Marissa, who's actually going to be making up a product that we offer. It is from our portfolio. It's a cold brew concentrate. This product is a 1+5 type dilution, so 1 part concentrate to 5 parts water, and I think the word concentrate might have a bad connotation with some people, and especially with the end customer. And I think that can be warranted sometimes. Let me kind of fill you in on how we actually produce this product. So we move the labor that you would be doing in your store upstream, and we supersize it times a million. We take bulk coffee, we regrind it to a medium fineness, and then we extract it. And the way we make the concentrate is not by adding heat or doing anything like that. We actually use reverse osmosis, which typically is used to remove impurities out of water. But what we're actually doing is removing water from our cold brew. So there's very minimal heat that's used to process this. It is steeped for from 12 to 18 hours, so it really is a quality cup of cold brew made the right way, just easier. So Marissa, if you don't mind just pouring that into the pitcher. So there's the concentrate with the extract, and then we top it with water. And that's really it. And that is what you are, and I think maybe you guys up here might be able to smell it. I can smell it from here. It's very strong. It has a really nice, delicious chocolatey flavor. If you'd like, you can taste the blue cup if you haven't already. That is our product, or an example of from our portfolio that is made from an extract. Yeah, that's all I have for that.
Yeah, one thing I want to touch on here is if you look at the Step 1 pouch, we get a lot of comments of, well, we like the artisanal program that we currently have. We're doing exactly what that artisanal program is doing. We're just pushing that operational complexity upstream, which what we mean by that is we're taking on the difficulty and the variables that go into that program, and we're doing it at our facility with absolute experts. Our master roaster, his name is Jose in San Antonio, and all he does is roast and grind beans day in and day out. That guy is really good at what he does. So the fact that we hear these comments of it's not artisanal, I challenge that comment very strongly because there's a lot of love and care and knowledge and expertise that goes into putting a half gallon of that extract into that beautiful little pouch right there. So in my opinion, pushing that operational complexity upstream, taking those variables out of your store, reducing what your staff needs to do is a very, very massive advantage for especially a premium product such as cold brew coffee.
So diving a little bit more into the product itself, as Don said, it's easy and it's repeatable. That means your customer is going to get the same thing every time. It's a clean product. There's no additives, there's no added flavors, there's no sweeteners, nothing. It really is just coffee beans. If you want to come to our plant and take a look for yourself, I invite you. It really is just coffee, and we're removing that water through the reverse osmosis. It's also stable for at least 6 months in the pouch, and some of our products can even go 9, 12 months. And we offer a variety of different kinds of packaging. There's a couple options here. We have a can, we have this wonderful bottle that Marissa showcased, we have the pouch, we have bibs with flex taps, kind of like your wine box type application. We have bottles with pumps, so you can kind of make your product right in the cup, which leads me to another point that I want to make is that this is not just a one-trick pony. You want to make a caramel cold brew? Get a bottle with a pump, 2 pumps of cold brew concentrate, 1 pump of caramel, or 2 pumps of caramel. And if you want to taste that, we're actually doing that same very thing at our booth, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah, and to kind of expound on that, EJ, it can go into smoothies, it can go into granita machines, it can be added with milk, it can be added in a bar in espresso martinis. We're talking about a straight up cold brew coffee extract, but this can also be applied in various ways. And to kind of expound on that even further, Kevin Hochman, the CEO of Chili's, who is very popular right now for what he's done at Chili's, in the Wall Street Journal about a month ago, he gave an interview and they said, what is one of the keys to your success? And he said, well, the first thing we did was I cut 25% of our menu, which allowed our back of house to be more efficient. They're more familiar with the products. There's less stuff in the back for them to have to track and cook and do. If this extract can remove 2 or 3 SKUs, and you can use it for a smoothie, for a frappe, for a straight black cold brew, you can even get more creative with it, like EJ said, with pumping. That is an awesome replacement for 2 or 3 SKUs of raw materials and raw ingredients in the back of your store. So this is a general slide. This is not an exact science in terms of how much it's going to save you, but from our experience and how we calculate some of these savings when we talk to these big brands, is we generally see about a 35% cost savings per cup with an extract versus a traditional in-house cold brew. Like I said, it's very hard to calculate that because it's roast and grind versus coffee extract. But the 2 things you're really going to get here is a reduce in labor in how your team is going to have to create this program from a day in and day out experience. But also what this allows you to do is it allows you to leverage the macroeconomics of Finley's coffee buying. We're buying coffee, whether it's green bean, roasted bean, all over the world, Vietnam, Mexico, Brazil, and we're buying those, bringing them into New Jersey, and we can roll that spend for that coffee into our other beans, and you can leverage our massive spend for those coffee beans, and that's how we drive your coffee price down as well. Not to mention reduce of waste. So if you're interested in understanding, we also have a calculator to kind of walk you through this. So if you're interested in learning more about what this could do for your beverage program, get with me after and we can have a conversation about that as well. So the success of this program really comes down to the fact that it increases customer satisfaction. As we talked about earlier, getting that customer to buy the one time is really easy, but getting that repeat customer with that consistency, it's in stock, making sure that the quality is what they're expecting is really, really important. And of course, speed in today's day and age. Like I said earlier, 43% of QSR's business sales are going through the drive-through. So one thing that you can help push more cars through that drive-through is reducing time per ticket, and having that extract, as Marissa just showed you, open, pour, and serve. It is that simple. And of course, it's staff or barista friendly. Instead of lugging around 3 to 5 gallon totes, which is not exactly easy, finding the space, the training, we reduce those variables from 12 to 3, which is a huge boon for your staff. It might help retention. It's going to lower the need for time and training, especially for your managers who are the lifeblood of our operations. And of course, there's cost savings involved as well. It's a bit of a case-by-case basis. Like I said, you can get with me, you can have a conversation about that. But for those people who underestimate their needs the next day, you run out, that's a loss in revenue. So we're gonna help you with cost savings in that as well. All right, so as we alluded to as well, we are not a one-trick pony. We talked a lot about cold brew coffee here, but we have a whole multitude of other menu offerings as well. We do, I mean, the list is long here, EJ, and I'm sure I'm gonna forget one, but we have a liquid tea concentrate that's very similar to the cold brew, what we call complete tea. I think that's a 5-to-1 extract, right? But the complete tea is 7-to-1. Yeah, the complete tea is 7-to-1, same process, 1 part tea to 7 parts water, and it also comes in a half-gallon pouch as well. Green tea, black tea, sweet, unsweet. We've even got blueberry flavoring as well. If you go by our booth, we've got blueberry milk tea, which has the liquid tea plus the blueberry flavor and some milk. I like to say that it is a blueberry pancake in liquid form, so please come by and try that. Fantastic. We also have milk tea as that gains in popularity. Last summer and this summer I've been calling it the summer of chai because chai has really exploded in popularity. If you don't have chai currently, I know you're probably thinking about chai. What does that look like? Is it more Western? Is it more Eastern flavors? We've got you covered in terms of flavor profile. It can be more clove forward or more cinnamon forward. We understand the needs for the palate, for the demographic. So chai is a big one. Matcha is really, really popular right now. There's a wide range of matcha. There's no real standard for matcha, which is strange, but neither is there for cold brew for that matter. We can source matcha. We've got matcha. We're even going to start looking at doing a liquid matcha as well. That's really gaining in popularity with health and wellness. Of course, as EJ said earlier, this is a clip and pour 5-to-1, but we also can increase that concentration with even more reverse osmosis and make these products pumpable. So if you've got operations that are very familiar with pumps and your staff like that, we have a customer that likes pumps as well, and our product is pumped into the cup as well. Coffee milk. So coffee milk's interesting. So Finlays bought Autocrat many decades ago, and if you're from Rhode Island, he is from Rhode Island. The official drink of Rhode Island is Autocrat coffee milk, which is one of the products that we make. It's basically Nestle's or Nesquik, but just coffee. So if you've not had coffee milk, give it a shot. Reach out to me. I'll send you a bottle. It's actually really good. It's just chocolate syrup, but instead of chocolate, it's coffee. And of course, so I want to talk on the restaurant to retail solutions here real quick. So a lot of the brands out there, and it might be some of you sitting in this room, not only do you have storefronts, but you also have a retail presence as well. Whether that's convenience store or grocery store, you're putting your product in a can or a bottle that's got your brand logo on it. So if you've got a very strong regulation for your product flavor profile in a can or a bottle that goes into the QT or the Quick Trip or what have you, we're going to help you increase that brand ownership not only from the can, because we do bottling and canning as well, but the same people who put that product in your bottle or your can can put that extract into your store as well. So genuinely, the customer is having the exact same flavor profile from store to store, whether it's your store that you're operating or if it's the store that they're buying your can or bottled product from. Increasing that brand ownership, which we're all very proud people in this industry. You have total brand ownership no matter where your product is sold. So having said that, we have plenty of time to taste the product, have any questions, we can have a conversation. Any questions?
I have one. Do you see bars using this as a fast, easy espresso substitute in the espresso martini?
Absolutely, and if you'd like to have an espresso martini, between 4 and 5 every day of the show, we're doing a happy hour. So we'll have espresso martini showcasing this coffee base, and we'll also have John Daly's showcasing our tea base with some lemonade. Thank you, Brett.
Which John Daly's, if you don't know, are Arnold Palmer's with vodka in it. So please come by and have one. That's my personal favorite. Espresso martinis, and to expound on that question, mocktails are very popular right now. You need to have an alcoholic and a non-alcoholic. If the presentation before us was about how non-alcoholic drinks are becoming very popular, a lot of these people are buying bottles with pre-mixed with liquor in it, having that non-alcoholic option is very important as well for a bar setting. Any other questions? How were the, oh, go ahead.
Hello. You sort of touched on this, but can you share more about the flavor profiles of the concentrate and how does that fit well into some of those applications you were sharing?
Yeah, so with any sort of coffee, the flavor profile is really dependent on two main things. The origin, well, I should say three main things. The origin, the variety, and how it's made. So cold brew, the product that you've tasted is 100% Colombian cold brew. So that is a very bright, very chocolatey forward profile, but we are able to work with any origin, any sort of certification that you'd like, and we also do hot brew coffee to give you the kind of more of that stereotypical hot brew flavor, which is maybe a little bit more, I guess, smoky, maybe less chocolatey, but a little bit more caramel. So we do both. So, yeah. Thank you.
All right, and to give you that booth number, it is 13149 or 13149 for that John Daly and that espresso martini. So please come by. We'll be standing over here if you want to have a quick conversation and grab a cocktail at 4 p.m. today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan and EJ.